Hi everybody, it's me Jill, and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of Orange County, Season 14, Episode 1, New Friend, New Flames. Oh boy, guys, I think we are in for a real treat. We get a montage of previews for the whole season, and there's a lot. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of excited. I'm gonna see how I do with my voices. I don't know if you can tell or not, I'm getting over a cold, so I'm not sure if everything isn't just gonna come out sounding like the Countess. Not that that's a bad thing, of course. All right, I can't wait. Let's just get started. Okay, we start with like our little check-in with everybody, just super quick. Like we see Tamra's new house and she comes pulling up on a motorcycle and she's like, I was in the wrong gear. And Eddie's like, you really need to be wearing a helmet. Then we see Gina also has a new house and she's talking to her chinchilla. Then we cut over and check in with Emily, and one of the twins is like kicking the dog and she's yelling at him to stop. Although it did kind of look like the dog thought they were playing, so I don't think it was like a horrible thing. Then we check in with the all new and improved Shannon storms the door, and she is at the gym with her daughters looking all slim and sassy. And Shannon's like, I'm proud of myself. It was 2 years of hell. And then we see the flashback to when she took her shirt off and the trainer's gonna like take a before picture. And he goes, oh, okay, oh, wow. Oh, God. It's still funny and I still feel like I kind of want to punch that guy. Okay, the next scene is with Gina. This might be a rough year for Gina. Aside from the fact that she and Mick got a divorce and now the kids all know about it, and she moved out of the house because she and Mick were getting in like arguments and it just wasn't good for the kids. So she moved out and she's got her own house, which is fine, great, and the house looks fine. Gina herself looks like she might be going through a little bit of a transition. This is, okay, let me see if I can explain this for those of you that didn't watch. Gina, when we see her, like, she's on the phone with her dad. Also, it looks like she ran over her phone with her car. Because not only is the screen cracked, but, like, I think the back of it is, like, chipped and pieces are missing. It sort of seems indicative of the year that Gina has had, maybe. Like, she and her phone have both been rode hard and put away wet. But what I was going to say was she's on the phone with her dad and they're on FaceTime. She's showing him around the new house. And she looks, I think, sort of normal. Like her hair color seems pretty normal, like the blonde it was last season. But her confessionals, that's a new look. It is like sort of a platinum blonde meets Jersey Shore. Like, I don't know. Is it sort of like a Snooki meets Christina Aguilera? I don't know. I'm still trying to kind of wrap my mind around it a little bit. Like, it's too many hair extensions. The hair extensions are too long. The color, like I said, is maybe a little white for her. And her face is very puffy. Like, do you guys know, are all of those confessionals done after the entire season wraps? I kind of think they are, which is more concerning to me because during the episode, she looks more normal, and that's after the DUI. So this new, it's just, it's a lot for me to take in, is how I'm going to say that. I'm just going to need to get used to it for a minute. Okay, now we check in with Kelly and Kelly's new boyfriend, Dr. Brian Reagan. That guy, he's a little bit of a trip himself. So she's on the phone with him and she's going to meet Shannon for a drink. And Shannon wants her to be her wingman. So he said, well, you're officially off the market. And she's like, oh, thanks, babe. Their relationship is so bizarre, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. She's telling us about him, that he is a surgeon who works at the place where she got her boobs done. And she's like, he's intelligent. He's normal. Okay. That last one's a little debatable, but again, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. We see her show up at Shannon's house and she's like, oh my God, you look good. You're wasting away to nothing. So she's like, yes, I do squats and whatever. So next we check in at Tamra's house, and her mom and her mom's boyfriend, Frank, and Eddie and Ryan are there. This is at Tamra's new home in Kodo now. She lives near Vicky. And then Eddie said, well, we joined the country club. And she's like, yeah, we're fancy now. And they're laughing about that. And then, you guys know I do not want to talk politics on this channel whatsoever. So whenever politics comes up in the show, I have decided that I am just going to try to report what was said as neutrally as possible, even though inside a little bit sometimes I'm screaming because I have a lot of opinions. Surprise, surprise. But I really feel strongly about the fact that my channel here and the recapping of the Housewives shows is not the place for it. So what happens is Tamra pulls Ryan aside and she said, I want to talk to you about Spencer, because Spencer, her other son, who's I think 18. Oh yeah, he turned 18 last year, because that's why we got to see his face for the first time in like 6 years, because Simon wouldn't allow any of the children to be seen. Ryan, as you know, is Tamra's son from another marriage, and also Ryan is an adult. And so then when Spencer turned 18, he was able to make his own decision about whether he wanted to be on camera, and so we got to see him for the first time, and it was like at his birthday party for him turning 18. So apparently Spencer and Ryan are not speaking to each other because Ryan is a Trump supporter and Spencer called him a racist. And so Tamra's like, you know, I wish you guys could like just put aside your political differences and your brothers. I want you talking to each other. And he said, well, I don't care if he's Democrat or whatever. That's not it. In the confessional, Ryan said that because he supported building the wall, that Spencer called him a racist. He said, that's going too far. Half my family is Mexican and other part of my family is black. So that's ridiculous. Tamra was trying to get Ryan to be the one to extend the olive branch because he's the older brother. And he's like, I'm not doing that. Am I going to kick his ass? No. But like the kid crossed a line and maybe you should like talk to him about that. So he leaves. Okay, then we check back in with Shannon and Kelly, and oh God, they went to the Quiet Woman, returning to the scene of the crime. You guys remember the beginning of last season? This is not my plate! And she throws it at Kelly. Kelly basically calls her a pig, and here, eat up. It was so good. But they're there as friends right now. Side note, you guys, I did watch What Happens Live, and they are not friends now. And I don't think Tamra is either. I mean, Tamra and Shannon are. Tamra and Kelly have been tweeting nasty things at each other, I guess, and yeah. It's not good now. But for where we are in the show, the two of them are having a great time together, yucking it up, laughing. And then this guy comes that I thought Shannon was going there to like try and meet somebody, but it seems like this guy that she's already been on dates with was there. It's not her current boyfriend, who is much more attractive. This is the guy that calls her babe, and she's like, I've never done that before, calling each other babe. But he shows up, and they have this gross, long, lingering kiss. And I'm sorry. I know this is like being an ageist or something, and also they're probably both younger than me. And like I understand that too. But I just didn't need to see. I don't know. Guys, it's like watching your parents kiss like for a real long time. Nobody needs that. At some point during that evening, Callie brings up Ginas DUI. She's like, what about the Gina and the DUI? And Shannon's like, that is the stupidest thing ever. There's nothing dumber than getting a DUI. I get what they're saying. Well, first of all, just don't do it because it's dangerous and you could hurt somebody else and yourself and you've got young kids. But it's just so easy to get in an Uber. In Kelly's confessional, she's like, I've done a lot of really dumb things in my time, but Gina's a real hot mess right now. Oh, she's not wrong. She's an even hotter mess in her confessionals. Shannon is pissed because she's like, oh, and this is somebody who throws out the term self-medicating. Again, a reference to last year when the ladies were concerned about Shannon's drinking, and Gina is the one that said, oh, she's self-medicating. Apparently, David used that against her in court, and according to Shannon, it cost her tens of thousands of dollars. Also, maybe you shouldn't have acted like you were self-medicating. So then Kelly tells Shannon, I invited my friend Bronwyn. Is that okay? And, Shannon doesn't take well to the new girls. We get to see a little montage of that. Before she answers, that's when Babe comes. Her gentleman caller. I guess his name is Ken, although the Chiron says Ken, a.k.a. Babe. And Kelly's like, in good shape? Oh, my God. Hashtag me too, Kelly. That's not okay. I mean, come on, ladies. If it's not okay for a man to do that to you, don't do that to a man. I just think it makes it harder for women to be taken seriously about the things that we want changed. Oh my God, Kelly. She's like, he's got hair. And then she grabs him by the shirt, pulls open his shirt to see if he's like trimming the hair. Shannon's like, oh, stop. Oh, God. You two are like killing me. Okay, we move on from that, but not before Kelly asks him if he shaves his balls. Of course she did. Okay. So now Bronwyn shows up and Shannon is taking to her like a duck to water. Her mother is a doctor, but does like homeopathic medicine. Well, of course, that's right up Shannon's alley. So they're bonding over that. I don't know. They really hit it off and they start dancing. Bronwyn passed the first hurdle. Let's see if Tamra likes her. All right, well, at least Kelly is an equal opportunity offender because now she's feeling up Bronwyn. Bronwyn talking about the 7 children that she has. Like, she's got a baby right now, and I think the oldest is 18. So she said, yeah, I've been breastfeeding for 18 years. Kelly, how are the titties? And she's just groping her. Just reaching out and grabbing some. Sure. Why not? And everyone is A-okay with it. So I guess I am too. Okay, now we check in with Emily, and she is home alone with the children. She's reading to one of her sons, and her daughter brings her a drawing that she made. It's a pretty sweet little family scene. And Emily tells us in the confessional that Shane is studying for the bar, again, for the 3rd time. It's a little shady. Although I have no complaints with Emily. I love her. She won my heart when she threatened Kelly's life. Kelly got mad at Shane. Shane did something stupid. Let's start with that. He interjected in a conversation that didn't have anything to do with him, and he just shouldn't have, because Kelly was really mad at Steve. Again, last year, not going to get into all the details, but Kelly started to complain about him to Emily. And it was early on in the season. She didn't remember having ever met him. So she's going, oh my God, that guy's a little bitch. He's a little bitch. And Emily's like, who? And she's like, that little guy. He's a little bitch. And Emily looks and she's like, that's my husband. Like, Kelly didn't back down. She's like, well, then your husband's a little bitch. So Emily then, as I like to say, like she got possessed and this voice came out and she goes, I will kill you. It melted my heart. And I fell in love with her at that very moment. I didn't want her to go anywhere. It was her rookie season and Gina's, but I'm like, you must come back next year. So I couldn't be happier that she's here again. All right, so Shane is studying for the bar exam. Emily is an attorney already and now in charge of taking care of all the children because while Shane is studying for the bar, he cannot have any distractions whatsoever. She explains that he's studying from early in the morning till late at night. And she's like, I understand that. I do. I'm an attorney. But when you're doing that, there's not a lot of time for a wife and kids at home. I have mixed feelings about this a little bit. Like, I think they both knew this was going to be difficult. This is his third time, right? So he didn't pass the first 2 times. So obviously it's not like a cakewalk for him. So he really needs to study and he really needs like that focus. And the kids are kind of demanding. They're young, you know, they need a lot. And so I sort of understand that. If she wants him to pass the bar, you're going to have to go through this really rough time. But on the other hand, like, she already is a working attorney, and I feel like it's almost impossible for her to now hold down the fort and do every single thing while he just goes off to study. Okay. I don't know why, but now this bothers me. She calls him, they're on FaceTime. Thank God when he said, you look nice. I think he's learning from his rookie year. He said a lot of things that really bothered me last year. And I didn't love the way he treated Emily. Part of that was times that I felt like I could tell she needed validation. And he wasn't giving it to her, and it just pissed me off. Those of you who have been following me since the beginning, or at least last season of Orange County, you guys know that Shane reached out to me and there was something that he wanted to clarify, and he was a subscriber of Jill Informed. And then ever since that, I was joking with you guys about how, gee, I wonder if he still watches me when I'm recapping like Beverly Hills or New York. Probably not, now that I know he's been studying for the bar exam again. But I'm secretly hoping that he will resubscribe to Jill Informed now that the new season is on. Anyway, I joke about that. But yeah, so right away him saying, you look nice, off to a good start. But like a lot of these men, they overcorrect season 2, and it seems very disingenuous. So we're going to have to see how this plays out with him. Now, here's what bothers me. She said, that doesn't look like the library. Where are you? And he goes, oh no, the library's closed. I'm at my mom and dad's house. What is he, up in his childhood bedroom studying? I don't even know why that bothers me so much, but it does. Is it just me? Am I being too hard on him? What do you guys think? Oh, well, okay, I guess he's not going to be overcorrecting too much in his sophomore season, because now the kids are starting to melt down a little bit. One of the little boys is dancing with the dog, and the other one wants his pirate's booty opened, and his daughter wants it, and he's crying, and it's getting a little overwhelming. My guess is it's probably near bedtime. Emily says, oh, I need you home. I need help. Shane, you're fine. You can handle it. Thanks, honey. Okay, the next scene is Callie and her daughter Jolie, and they go to a cat cafe, and oh God. Callie's driving, and they're pulling up to this place, and their house is right by the beach, and she says to Jolie, you know how everybody throws their garbage? Well, I just saw a rat, like huge rat. It's because everyone's throwing their garbage everywhere. So that's why I'm thinking about getting a feral cat. I'm thinking about getting a feral cat. And Jolie goes, why don't you just get a normal cat? And she's like, no, like I want a feral one. So then in her confessional, she goes, is it feral or feral? And the producer goes, it's feral. She goes, oh, feral, not pharaoh? He goes, no, a pharaoh is like the Egyptian. And she goes, oh, because like I always want to name it Will, like the cat, like Will Ferrell. It's Will Ferrell. So you can name it Will if you want. Oh my God. She's so funny. I love it. So as they're getting out of her car, she's got a Mercedes SUV. Her daughter's like, it looks like poop. And she's like, no, it doesn't. It looks like Indiana Jones. And it is a very odd color. It's kind of a yellowy brown. It's not great. Anyway, they go in the place and they get into this conversation about Michael, her ex-husband, Jolie's dad, getting mad because she introduced Dr. Reagan to Jolie. And she's like, I mean, he's been dating someone for a year. Why does he care? I guess he's never introduced this woman to Jolie, and Jolie said it's because he knows I'm very critical or something like that. And she goes, how come you're okay with meeting Dr. Reagan then? And she starts laughing and she goes, well, because gold diggers go after him, but you go after rich people. I guess she's calling her mom a gold digger. I don't know how else to take that. Next, we are at lunch with Gina and Emily, and Gina's like, yeah, I don't have much of an appetite because I'm all nerved up still because of everything. Emily's like, yeah, so what's going on with that DUI? And she goes, well, okay, you know what? It was a mom event at my friend's house, and I had a few wines. And you know how you get these like little tiny paper cups, and they just keep like refilling it? Emily goes, do you know how much you drank, though? There's this long pause, and she goes, yeah, but I felt okay. She's like, you know, it was just like a last minute decision to go, and I just wanted to get home. I just made a bad choice. So Emily, I don't know if Emily's going to be her attorney on this or not, but just because Emily's an attorney, she's asking sort of pointed questions. And she said, okay, so when they pulled you over, were you thinking DUI? No, I was just thinking I would get a ticket. But you know what? I'm like, my friend who was in the car had a roadie. So like, that's what it was. And Emily goes, so you're just all a bunch of jackasses. Yeah, pretty much. But Gina's like, I wasn't drinking it. And Emily goes, but the policeman saw it. And she's like, yeah. And so he just like asked everyone to get out of the car. Emily says to the confessional, well, I mean, from a legal standpoint, getting a DUI, not a good thing. It can affect your job. It can go on your record. And, you know, you're always known as someone who got a DUI, and you're a heavy drinker who doesn't make good decisions. So then she said, what about your parents? I know you were afraid to tell them. And she's like, that was like the worst part. It was like you go, like you're in the jail, and it was so scary. Like there were like glass walls, and there was a man who was banging his head against the wall, and the glass was all bloody. That does sound scary. Anyway, she's crying, and she said that her dad said, I just want you to know I have unconditional love for you. And Emily's like, what did Matt say? I think Emily was thinking like a lawyer, because I don't know if the divorce is final or anything, or I don't know if the custody is final or anything like that, but I'm sure she was thinking, you could lose your kids. Anyway, she just said, what did Matt think? And she goes, oh, Matt was the first person I called. He was so supportive. And then she said to Emily, did I disappoint you? And she goes, no, I mean, yeah. You're lucky, because that could have been a custody issue. And she's like, I know. So she said, you know, at the end of the day, like you're lucky that nobody got hurt, no one was injured, and I know you're never going to put yourself in that situation again. I know you're just a good person who made a bad decision. Okay, now we see Bronwyn's house and her home life. And it's 6:41 in the morning. It's still kind of dark out. And her husband said, Hazel's starting to get up. Do you want to go get her? And she goes, yeah. So she goes and gets the baby, and she's cute. Now all the other kids are getting up and getting ready, I guess, to go to school. Breakfast is being made. And is this episode sponsored by Pirates Booty? Because this is the second appearance of it. Her husband is giving it to one of the twins. She's got 5-year-old twins also. And she goes, wait, who's giving booty to the kids for breakfast? And he goes, oh, I did. It was an emergency thing. He's making pancakes, though. Okay, so then she introduces all the kids. There's Bella, who is 18. She's the oldest. Rowan is 16. She's a classical dancer. Jacob is 13. He does musical theater. The twin boys, who are 5, Caden and Curran. Koa is their 3-year-old daughter. She calls her the Tasmanian Devil. And Hazel is 1, and she's the baby. Anyway, she's talking about how she doesn't know anybody else in Orange County that has 7 children. And the first thing everybody asks us is, are you Mormon? No. Are you Catholic? No. Are you Orthodox? No. She goes, I just like to tell everybody that we drink too much vodka. There is a huge gap in the middle of those kids, though, because there's an 18, 16, and 13-year-old, and then we go from 13 to 5. 5-year-old twins, and a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old. 4 of them are under the age of 5. I mean, there was like an 8-year gap in between. Okay, and her husband, he's cute. I can't remember his name right now. Anyway, he owns, I guess she said he has owned different tech companies that he's bought and sold through the years, and he has these people working for him, and they do things, and she doesn't know what it is that they do. But she grew up in a trailer park, and when her mom and her dad split, they moved in with her grandfather, who was very wealthy, and then that's when she knew that she wanted to grow up with some money. Oh, Sean is her husband. And she goes, Sean has like a really naughty side that no one knows about but me. I like it. And I think I like her. I mean, listen, I know it's still very, very early, but you get a feel for people, and I definitely have an initial good feeling toward her. I think I might like Bronwyn. We'll see. Let's do a poll question. Do you guys have a really good, hopeful first reaction to Bronwyn? Or are you guys like, no, thumbs down, I don't like her? I'm curious. Okay, I think I am going to like her. This is funny. She's talking about how they used to live in Miami. They went there on vacation and they never left. So they were there like 8 years. Then they moved to Orange County. And she said, in Miami, like being a mom was part of your identity. Here in Orange County, it's like a competition. She goes, I remember somebody asked me if my kindergartner's class was academic enough. I'm like, he digs in the dirt. I think she might be funny. Okay, this next scene, I alluded to having certain feelings about Dr. Brian Reagan. Kelly shows up at his office. The nurse is like, oh, he's waiting for you back there. And so she goes in and she's like, hi. First of all, let me just say, their exchange with each other is so awkward and unnatural. So you know how forward Callie is, right? She asked Shannon's gentleman friend if he shaved his balls. So it's raining out. She goes into his office and he goes, hey, are you staying dry? And she goes, I'm wet around you. And he goes, okay. And it just gets worse from there. Now he's got his awkward nurse or receptionist, I don't know who she is, come in with this box of flowers. And he goes, so listen, these are yours. And she's behind Callie, and she kind of comes around and puts them on his desk in front of Callie. And she goes, oh my God. Then the woman walks out and he goes, thanks, Kat. Hey, can you get up for a second and close the door? So like at first I was like, okay, that is so weird that he's making her do it. But now I see his office is so small that her chair is in the way of being able to close the door. So she does. And she goes, I feel like something's weird. And he goes, nothing's weird. Nothing's weird. Oh, trust me. Everything's weird. This whole conversation is weird. This whole scene is weird. And your new boyfriend is really weird. Now, she's on the other side of his desk. Now he's got a red envelope. And he goes, okay, so listen. And he reaches across like this with his hand. Maybe I'm the weird one. Like, I just think it's weird that a guy wouldn't like grab your hand like this. Maybe it truly is me. But to like delicately reach across and put your hand out like that so that Kelly has to grab his hand. I think that's weird. It's a very feminine kind of move. And his voice, and I know he's a doctor, but you could not pay me to date him. I mean, even if I wasn't married. So he reaches across and he goes, listen, I just want to thank you for the last couple of months since I met you. It's been amazing. And this is now where I think Callie's being weird. She's like, oh, thank you so much. And he goes, here's a card. And that's just a little gift for you. It's just a little something, something. It's very appropriate. So the card real big says, you are loved. And Kelly's like, you are loved. And then she opens it and she's like, oh, I can read your writing now. Then she's like, well, what is this? And she starts to open the box and he goes, okay, so this is Sophia Day, a very hot new designer. And she pulls it out and she goes, ooh, diamonds. And he goes, so these are red range diamond earrings. Are you selling them? Like, is Sophia Day your daughter or your, sister? It was like such a commercial for these earrings. They were pretty. They were just like, dangly, straight thing. And she's like, wow, beautiful, rose gold, my fave. He's like staring at her and he goes, I know it's your favorite because I listen to you. I just got a shiver down my spine. That would be sweet if he didn't say it like a stalker. So Kelly goes, you do? Like, nobody ever listened to me before. In the confessional, she goes, thank God it wasn't a ring because that is not the way I want to be proposed to. She goes, I would probably say no in a small office like this. So then she said, I think Jolie is warming up to you. And he goes, I noticed. Yeah, of course he did. He's probably been peering through your windows at night, listening to what you and Jolie talk about. And he goes, I can understand Michael being concerned. I think that when we get a chance to meet, he'll feel better. Oh, no. He will not. But Kelly goes, oh, no, he does not want to meet you. Anyway, Brian says, all right, well, let's just not worry about that. We won't worry about what we can't control. His calm, robotic nature, maybe it makes him a good doctor. I don't know, but not a boyfriend. There's like zero passion in his voice or masculinity. Just saying. Oh my God. Okay, so the next scene is Tamra and Shannon, and they're in the car. In the voiceover, Shannon tells us, Dr. Reagan called me into his office today for a follow-up. He is the one that did her face tight procedure, which is like they're calling it a non-invasive facelift, but we get to see a little bit of it, and it's like, oh, he's jamming a needle in her cheek, and it looks pretty invasive to me. The results are stunning. Shannon looks beautiful, but whoa. Okay, so they are headed to Dr. Reagan's office, and Kelly is still there getting her own procedure. She's getting some Botox in her forehead, and Kat is a registered nurse. I see that now. Kat is the one who's giving her the injections. Okay, they pull into the parking lot and they see Kelly's car. They too think it looks like diarrhea. So Jolie was not the only one. I think Shannon said it was rose gold. Maybe Kelly told them it was rose gold. It is not. Oh God. He's so awkward. While Kelly's having that done out in the lobby, now Shannon and Tamra arrive. And Shannon goes, oh, this is Tamra, our friend Tamra. And he goes, hi, Tamra, Brian Reagan. Hi, you're Kelly's squeeze. Boyfriend. I'm Kelly's boyfriend. And she's like, boyfriend, okay. Are you not familiar with the term squeeze? Or are you just that weird? Anyway, so Tamra is having a kind of a housewarming party, even though it's not completely done yet. But she just wants to do like sort of a barbecue, something casual in the backyard. She mentioned it to Shannon in the car. And so Shannon goes, oh, did you invite them? And she goes, not yet. So then she tells Kelly about it. Kelly goes, when? And she goes, on Saturday, if it stops raining. And she goes, oh, I have plans to do something with my friend Bronwyn. And Tamra goes, just bring her. Kelly's like, well, okay. All right, well, I'll have fun with you guys. But Dr. Reagan is out. And he goes, I'll be in Park City with my son. Oh boy, sorry to hear that, because you seem like a lot of laughs. Anyway, then Tamra said, so Kelly, I wanted to ask you if you'd be okay if I ask Vicky. And she goes, if I see her, I'm going to walk the other way. And Tamra goes, I didn't want to like break any girl code. And she goes, no. I mean, you can invite her. It's your party. But I have nothing to say to her, and I'm not going to get into anything with her. I don't want to talk to her. Then we see her confessional, and she's like, at this point in time, with everything that's been going on, that's destructive relationship with Vicky, the latest was at the reunion, as you guys know. She basically accused Callie of using cocaine, and which she adamantly denied, and Jolie said, I can't even have my friends come over here because their parents think that you do drugs. I don't know if that really happened or not, or if she's just worried that might happen. But yeah, I kind of get it. There are ramifications beyond what you are doing to that person. What is that even like for Jolie when she goes to school? I mean, not that Kelly herself hasn't embarrassed Jolie plenty, I'm sure. Anyway, Tamra in her confessional said, I know these two don't get along, but I want them eventually to be friends again, and neither of them are taking the steps they need to make that happen. Okay, so I see what's happening here, because Tamra's inviting them to the same event, and she's probably going to try and get them to talk. The 8,000 times this has been tried in the past on every franchise of Housewives. It always goes great. Anyway, so she texted Vicky and told her that she was having a housewarming party, will you come? And Vicky's like, okay, with this emoji. It doesn't sound like Vicky's like super excited about the party either. And that is where this first episode ended. Lots of previews for the upcoming season that look like it's going to be kind of fun. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too. Thank you so much for watching. What do you guys think is going to be like the most juicy drama of the season? What are you hoping for? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, if you liked this episode, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to Jill Informed. I will be back here next Tuesday at 1 p.m. Central Time for the next recap of The Real Housewives of Orange County. I hope you'll join me. Bye.